get to work, and I'ma gauge my progress by the sign of the word. Now I ain't yet a success, but yes, the word that I stress, cause by the time you hear the CD, count the steps.
Once again, back is the incredible Pablo Rivera, y'all. This is Make It Happen Monday from Watch Me Make It Happen, right? You can call me Mr. Watch Me Make It Happen. Check this out. Listen, we are in the second Make It Happen Monday of 2024, right? And we're just going to expand on it, right? So if you ain't heard the first one yet, my suggestion is you go ahead and you go back to that first one, right? Because we're going to start building. This is the year of being resolute in the pursuit of our goals, right? While everybody else is sitting there being like, oh, I'm going to start January 1st, or I'm going to do this. We started before that, right? You started before that. Even if it was just a conceptual idea, something that you had in your brain, you already started the change. And if you listening to this video, if you follow and subscribing to Watch Me Make It Happen to WMMIH, then you got the same type of mindset, right? It may need to be developed. You know what I'm saying? Everybody got their starting points and everybody running their own race. You know what I'm saying? But you got the thought process in you, and you want to make that intentful action to be able to be resolute in the pursuit of your goals, right? So check it out. Where are we at now? We are literally on day 8, right? But we have 7 days behind us of making good decisions, or at least having the opportunity to make good decisions, right? We are on day 8 of 365 days of making good decisions. That's all it is. That's all it is, right? Because we need to reflect on that, right? So out of these last 7 days, how many good decisions did you actually make, right? How many bad decisions did you actually make, right? Let's take 2 for an example, because I brought it up very early in last Make It Happen Monday, right? We talked about getting rid of I don't know and getting rid of you right. Right? Why? What's the problem? They semantics, right? I understand they semantics. I understand that they just words, right? But just words is super powerful, right? Words can empower you to do something. Words can drag you down and slow you down and potentially even stop or derail your progress in a whole bunch of areas of your life, right? And that's not what we want to be doing, right? We want to empower. And that's the reason why I'm focusing on these semantics, right? Because everything, every word, every phrase, music you listen to, every input is what's going to allow you to be able to produce an output, right? So that's why we staying positive. We're doing all these things, right? We're changing these semantics, as you may be calling them, right? But why is it that I don't want to say I don't know? Because you're literally relinquishing all responsibility of anything it is that you had to do with. You do know. You were the one that made the decision, right? And people are like, oh, I had no choice. You always have a choice. You always have a choice, right? And I ain't trying to get into that because we talked about it a little bit last week, and we'll continue to go in deeper into that discussion as the year goes by, right? So that was the first one, right? We are not saying I don't know. We are going to take personal accountability for everything it is that we do, right? And you can't say I don't know if you're taking personal accountability, right? The second thing that we talked about was telling somebody that they right, right? I don't care if you ask them a question and they say something to you, right? I mean, think of it. Hey, what is this? And they tell you, you right. It don't make sense. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I agree. You know, oh, what do you think about blah, 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 blah? Or where do you think I should go to do, right? Oh, I agree, right? Why is it? It's something small, but I have noticed that the more you tell somebody else that they're right, when really all it is an affirmation in what it is that your thought was already. So really, you were right. I mean, if you want to, you could take it a whole step farther when somebody tells you something, be like, oh yeah, I'm right, right? But again, now we tend to talk about optics, you know what I'm saying? And you might look like a real arrogant person, you know what I mean? So we don't want to be doing that, right? But again, you want to think about that. Those were the 2 decisions, you know what I'm saying? But check this out. You might be sitting here thinking to yourself and being like, yo, Pablo, man, 365 days of good decisions. My goodness, right? It's 365 days. All right, bet. So let's back up a little bit. You know, I always say, I've said this before. I don't know if I always say this, but I know I've said it before because I heard it before, right? Is they say, what's the only way to eat an elephant, right? And the answer is 1 bite at a time, right? Because ain't no way you're going to eat that whole elephant in chukulun like that. You're not going to be able to do that, right? So the same way that we attacking our goals and to be resolute in the pursuit of our goals, right, is the same way that we're going to do this, right? Is we're going to attack 365 days of good decisions. How? I'll wait. 1 day at a time, right? So literally, that's the reason why we're focusing on this. This is day 8. You got 7 days behind you. What I want us to do is actually look back and see if we are actually owning our decisions, right? Because that's what it is that adds value to our decisions, is if we own it. Listen, we ain't going to be making good decisions all the time, right? But we are in the pursuit, and we are being resolute in the pursuit of being the way we want to be, right? Of reaching our goals, right? So that's the way we raise our value, by taking ownership of our decisions. If it's a wrong decision, It's all right. Own it. Right. And as a matter of fact, that kind of disempowers the next person because you know they coming with the finger to point. Oh, you did. Right. I did it. Right. And we can sit here and talk about what it is how I failed or how it is that I made the wrong decision. That's OK. But then we're going to move on from this and we're going to work on the resolution. Right. That's what I like to do. I like to have resolution based discussions when we're talking about somebody's failure, even my own. You know what I mean? We're going to talk about exactly how I failed. But then from there, we're going to go ahead and figure out how it is that we can move forward from there. Right. So today is simply about making good decisions. And that's it. We can't think about tomorrow right now. Right. Because those decisions haven't even arisen for us to be able to make those decisions. You see what I'm saying? So all I'm looking for you to do is one day at a time. Be conscious, be aware, be resolute in your pursuit of making the right decisions, right? We can make tomorrow's decisions tomorrow, but today we're making good decisions, right? So you probably sitting here saying, all right, well, how do I know if it's a good decision? How do I know if I'm making these good decisions, right? Well, listen, you want me to tell you? You know what I mean? Here's the thing, is you want to take personal accountability for all of your actions and all of your decisions, right? So like if you want to make good decisions, first you need to figure out what it is that you want, right? You have to find out what your it is. You know what I'm saying? We was over at a birthday party the other day, right? And one of the adults went up to my daughter because she had a Watch Me Make It Happen shirt on, right? And they were like, oh, let me ask you something. What is it? Right? My daughter's 4 years old, bro. My daughter's 4 years old. And you know what? She looked up at them and she was like, whatever I want it to be. Yo, I was in the background cheering like crazy because I couldn't believe that she actually said that. You know what I mean? And she's right. Your it is whatever it is that you want it to be, right? I'm not telling you that you should be a motivational speaker. I'm not telling you that you should go be a doctor. I'm not telling you that you should be a fitness instructor. Whatever it is that you want to do, whatever it is that you want to be, all of these principles that I'm talking about are going to help you get to your goal a whole lot faster, right? So again, all we're trying to do is figure out what it is that we want. What is it that our goals and our dreams are, right? And the more clear you are with what your goals and your dreams are, it's a lot easier to ensure that the tasks that you create to be resolute in your pursuit of your goals actually are in line. They're congruent with your goals, your dreams, and the tasks that you're doing to get there, right? Because any task that's done repeatedly is considered a habit, right? And any habit that's done repeatedly becomes your character. And your character is exactly who you are, right? So once we find out that they're congruent, so how do we do that? Again, what do you want? Right? What do you want to be? Right? And every other detail that goes along with it. How long is it going to take? Right? This is all part of your vision. That's what we was talking about last week. I said, where my visionaries at? Right? I want you to dream it. I want you to just think about it. Right? So now I'm going to ask you another question. Did you practice that free writing exercise that I asked for you to do? Nah? Listen, if I were you, I'd pause this, do that free writing exercise, and then come back, right? All right, I hope if you're still on here, you already did that free writing exercise. And again, you can be as detail-oriented or as broad as you want, right? The more detail-oriented you get, the more specific you're going to be in the task that you come out of it, right? So how detailed is it? How clear is it? If I was to pick that up, right, and read it, would I be able to understand? Would I be able to close my eyes after I read it and envision your goals and your dreams just as clear as you did? Right? It's kind of like a difference, right? You ever read a book and then you watch a movie, right? You watch the movie and everybody else who never read the book is like, yo, that movie was dope. You know what I'm saying? Like that was off the hook. All right, yeah, cool. But I read the book and the book is a whole lot better. Why is that? Because you are able to envision it as well. Now, it's not exactly the same thing, right? Because, you know, when they say you see a house, if they don't go in detail into what that house looks like, you're going to make your own vision of what the house looks like, right? And that's partly what makes the book better is because we can all add our own little flavor, right? Our own little sabor into what it is that we're reading, right? So then when we see the movie and it don't got that same sazon in it, we're like, yo, what happened, right? You know what I'm saying? So again, we need to find out exactly what it is that we want to be, where it is that we want to be, how it is. Think about that as clear as possible. Put that into the free write exercise. There's our vision, right? So let me ask you, can you see it now? Can you see it now? Because if you can, this is where accountability starts. Personal accountability, right? What motivations and mishaps happened because of you? No one else. No one else, right? I want to know what motivates you and what are the mishaps that you've taken, right? Missteps, mishaps, mistakes, whatever you want to talk about, right? But as soon as you start to say, you know what happened, that person did, you're wrong. You need to back that up, right? Because no one else, every failure, every success are because of me. Anytime that there was something that happened to me that was negative, I could have done something to change it. Now, granted, I might be Monday morning quarterbacking it, right? But it's my fault. I'm the one who's accountable for me. You see what I'm saying? So now that we understand we got to take this personal accountability, the next thing that we need to do is we need to take a personal inventory, right? So let's start. In these past 7 days, how many good decisions did you make, right? And I want you to do this, right? You don't, we just feel me right now, but then after this, I want you to actually go do it, right? You did the free writing exercise first, and now today you're going to list out them good decisions, right? So just list out all the good decisions. Listen, you can go as deep as you want. You can be like, I woke up the time I was supposed to wake up. And check it out. If that was an issue for you, I would write that down. I brushed my teeth for 2 minutes, right? You know what I mean? Whatever. I finished the project, right? I hit the snooze button and I never woke back up again. Whatever it is that your good decisions are and bad decisions, right? I want you to put them in 2 separate columns. So, right, all your good decisions right here, right? And let's just focus on that right now. How many of them good decisions did you make, right? How many of them bad decisions that you made, right? Now I want you to think about it. What was the impact that that good decision made? What was the impact? Who did it impact, right? Was it your intent? If it was your intent and it made an impact and it impacted the person that you wanted, think about it. Is that indeed a good decision? I would say so, right? So good job, right? Now what you want to do is you want to think to yourself, what was the environment that you was in that allowed you to make that good decision, right? Think about it. There's an environment that you're in that allows you to grow, that allows you to expand, that allows you to be a visionary and then attack those goals, right? To be resolute in the pursuit of your goals, right? So what was that environment that allowed you to do the good decision? Was it something that you did last night that you created a way so that you can be able to wake up smoothly in the morning? You know what I'm saying? What was it? What we want to do is we want to replicate that environment. We want to continue to be able to create our environment around us to be that type of environment that we can make good decisions in. You ain't feeling what I'm saying. All right. We want to make sure that the environment that we are in is conducive for us making good decisions, right? Check this out. If you smoking weed and you ain't trying to smoke weed no more, listen, I'm going to tell you right now that you probably shouldn't be hanging out all the time with them dudes who be smoking weed or them girls who be smoking weed, whoever it is. You probably don't want to do that, right? If you're fat as hell and you're trying to lose weight, you should probably stop chilling with people who keep going to the buffet. You know what I'm saying? Create your environment so that you're ready to succeed, right? If you got low self-esteem and you hanging out with people who picking on you and making fun of you all the time, you should probably stop chilling with them, right? Go where you celebrated, not tolerated, right? So now check this out. Here goes the hard part. I want you to do the same thing that you did with them good decisions. I want you to do them with the bad decisions, right? Woo! I know that's difficult, man. Yes, I want you to find out what that bad decision was. I want you to determine what that impact was. I want you to determine who it impacted. Was that the desired outcome? If it wasn't, I'm going to let you know right now, you 100% right in saying that was a bad decision, right? Cool. Now that we know it's a bad decision, same question. What was the environment that you was in that allowed you or helped you or just made it comfortable to make that wrong decision? Because now we need to go in a deep dive in there too, right? What was that environment? All right, bet. I need to change up that environment, right? Because it might not have been everything. It might have been something in that environment that made that happen. You know what I'm saying? And I can't be doing that. I need to change up the environment. Check it out. It might even be what you're looking at. It might even be what you're looking at. And again, you ain't going to want to hear this neither, right? But if you're sitting there swiping through Instagram and you're looking at all these pictures and you going to these sites that probably you shouldn't be going to, and then you're wondering why it is that you ain't faithful to your wife, you should probably change the environment in your mind, right? Again, I know I'm starting to touch some nerves here, right? But let me just back this up real quick. I just need you to write down them lists, the good, the bad, the environment, right? Cool. Now that we figured out what the environment is that's conducive to positive and the environment that's conducive to negative, well, now what we got to do is we got to start putting in controls, right? because we taking personal accountability. I can't sit here and be like, well, if that dude wasn't standing right there, or if that girl wasn't right there, or if blah, 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 if my alarm clock was a little bit farther on the other side of the room, maybe I would have, nah, no. If those are the reasons, right, because we're going to find out what it is that went wrong, what the environment was that made us make bad decisions, well, now we need to implement those controls so that the environment isn't the same next time, right? We can't keep on making the same mistakes. We can't keep on making the same mistakes, right? Once we find out what it is that allows us to be able to make good decisions, then we can start figuring out what it is that allows us to make the bad decisions. I think I slipped that up, but once we know how to make good decisions and bad decisions, we want to replicate those environments so that we can continue to do the same thing, right? So I know it's going to be a little bit uncomfortable, right? I understand that. I understand that the uncomfortableness is going to be strong, all right? But as long as we can repeat the actions that we took to make good decisions, we're going to be there, all right? The act, the feeling, the point or the points of impact, the effect of the impact, and what was the environment that we were in, and how can we reproduce that environment? Check it out. This might sound difficult, but if you followed what I said in the first Make It Happen Monday of 24, it was to be able to be super clear with your goals, to be able to be super clear with your aspirations, to be able to be super clear with all of that. And if you didn't do that, I will ask you, go back and do that free writing exercise and just write what it is that you want to be. I don't care what the time frame is. It could be 6 months from now. It could be a year from now. It could be 10 years from now, whatever it is, but be clear. All right? Because then when we start developing them tasks that go in line with that, you know that you're going to be able to move forward in that. All right? All right. Remember, if you're here, you already have the intent. And with intent, amazing things can happen. But they don't just happen by themselves. You make it happen, right? I believe in you. Hopefully, you starting to believe in yourself if you haven't already. And if you believe in yourself, let's start taking that a little bit higher, right? Remember your affirmations, right? My name is Pablo Rivera. Watch me make it happen.
Shoulders when I'm in motion, I'm focused, thoroughly thought of my plans and the execution. You notice, ain't no time to think about it, only time to react. Your intuition under pressure, weigh it down on your back. I scribble thoughts in my palm, I sing it when I get home. Organize my inner visions while I'm chilling and calm. A politician's mind state, that means I'm nice on my speech. Plus I peep the government way